Hello everyone, in this video I will give you 5 reasons why you are inconsistent in CS2. I'm going to explain the things and I'm going to give you solutions so that you can improve on them. So watch the entire video and I guarantee you will become a better player. The first reason you are inconsistent in CS2 is the most likely one, and that is you don't have a good warm-up. A lot of people would just hop into games with some random warm-up, or they would do no warm-up at all, which is even worse. When you haven't played the whole day and you get into CS and you play a game, you cannot expect your aim to be perfect. You're not going to be accurate, you're not going to have your pre-aim on point, you're not going to be feeling the game. You have to get into warm-up, you have to make a routine for yourself that you're going to stick to and you're going to do before every time you play. It can be aimbots, it can be deathmatch, it can be any workshop map that you want, but you need to warm up your aim, you need to warm up your flicking, you need to warm up your spraying, you need to warm up your pre-aim as well. Maybe if you're that type of a guy, you need to warm up your movement for sure, especially your counter strafing. You want to be feeling your character fully. Every aspect that you can have about your character, you want to warm up. The only thing that you don't need to warm up is probably the utility, because that's something that you just feel naturally with playing. But everything else that you can do with your character, the aiming, the pre-aim, the movement, the counter strafing, the jumps, everything, you need to warm it up. Maybe not the jumps, because they will not be necessary every game, but you need to at least warm up moving around and shooting like this, or just counter strafing in general. And the best way to do that will be aimbots, and you can also use deathmatch. I personally prefer aimbots for a warm up, and then I prefer deathmatch for practice. So make a routine for yourself, exactly what you're going to do. Let's say on aimbots, first you're going to kill 100 bots staying on one place, and you're going to start counter strafing, and you'll just tap once each bot. Then you'll start bursting, and then you'll start spray transferring or whatever. And I'm soon going to make another video specifically about how to warm up, so you can stay tuned for that. The next reason you are inconsistent in CS2 is that you don't practice consistently. Now, the important thing to note here is that if you don't practice consistently, you are not going to be consistent at doing the task at anything. Absolutely anything you can think of. If you are not consistent at practicing it, you will not be consistent at performing at the best level that you could be. So let's talk about specifically in CS. You want to be practicing consistently, which will mean 5 to 7 days per week. You want to be practicing your aim specifically. And you could be practicing other things, not every day, but in my opinion, what I like to do is every day play deathmatch. Or if you don't have the availability to do it every single day, then you're going to do it as many days as you can. And it's important to just at least show up. You're of course going to have a target. Let's say your target is going to be 200 kills, or half an hour, or 1 hour of deathmatch. You're going to have a target. But let's say your target is 1 hour, and today you have half an hour free for CS. What you're going to do is you're just going to go into deathmatch and play it for half an hour. Because it's not important that you do it the full hour, it's important that every day you show up and every day you do what you needed to do. If you don't have the time to do the full routine, you're just at least going to do the part of it that you can do right now with the time that you have. The routine could be deathmatch, could be aimbots, could be anything, and some days you can include additional things. Let's say 5 days you're going to do deathmatch, but one of those days you're also going to go on a workshop map for spray control to remind yourself the sprays of the guns, and just to maybe improve it a little bit, or just refresh it in your memory, make it a little bit better, just to keep track of that as well. But the most important thing, as I already said, in my opinion, the most important thing about practicing is playing deathmatch and playing it at least 5 days per week. This is going to give you the biggest improvement. Do it as much as you want to, and do it consistently. It's going to improve you in a week. In a week you already see differences. When you keep doing it for a month or over a month, you see huge differences and huge improvements. And if you want to know more about playing deathmatch, I already have a video where I tell you the best way to play deathmatch, how to play it correctly, and how to improve as much as possible while playing it, so you can check that video out as well. The third reason why you are inconsistent is because you play different positions all the time. Let's say one game on Anubis you play B, the next game you play A, the next game you play mid. You cannot have the same performances all of these games, and you cannot have the same level of impact all of these games unless you are somehow a master of all positions. Yes, you cannot play the same position every game, but you have to try to at least get the same position. You have to ask the people and tell them, look, I can play mid, can I play mid, whatever. Like if they tell you that somebody is already playing mid, A is open, but you don't really know how to play, you're gonna say, I don't really know how to play A, I think we're gonna lose A if I play A, can somebody from mid go A? It can be just something as simple as that, and that is going to, it's not a way of basically putting your teammates in the worst position, it's just a way of you trying to get the most impact that you can, because you know that the games most likely depend on your performance, so that you try to take the biggest impact position that you know how to play, and then you play it, and then that's the possibility that you get the most impact, and that's the possibility that you win the game. Because if you don't know how to play A and you go and play A, you're gonna be useless and you're probably gonna lose the game. So you have to tell your teammates that, look, I don't know how to play A, but I'm good on mid. Can somebody from mid please go A? Just something as simple as that. You don't have to say anything bad to them. You don't have to say, okay, I'm just gonna play A, but keep in mind we can lose it. No, you just tell them, look, I want mid, can somebody from mid go A? And most of the time they're going to say yes, and if they say no, then whatever, you know, just go A and try to do your best, and if you don't, then whatever, unlucky, next game. But you also have to know some basic things about how to play every position, just for those cases. The fourth reason is kind of similar to the first, because it is again about a position, but this time it's more about a plan of the position. So let's say you play mid, you got the position and whatever. Now you need to know what you're going to do, what are the best things that you can do, what are you going to do to certain things that the enemies do. So let's say in the beginning of every round you're going to throw a Molotov. And you're going to throw a Molotov because if the enemies try to rush mid, they'll extinguish and you'll hear that. And then you can throw a nade and you can fall back to a better position where you can hold the rush easier. And you can throw some kind of utility or whatever you want. And you can stop the rush and whatever. You have to have a plan for what you're going to do. If you throw a smoke, you have to have a plan. Okay, they might nade, so I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna wait a little bit. If I hear that they're pushing mid, I'm going to, if I have time, stay here. Or if I don't have time to go back, I'm gonna stay here. But if I have time to go back, I'm gonna try to jump back and either go towards tempo or go towards camera, depending on, you know, what the situation is with your teammates positioning. You have to also have a plan for, let's say, okay, nothing happened on mid early. If nothing happens on mid early, I'm going to go back towards camera and I'm going to play either there or here or something like this. If something is happening towards B, I'm going to rotate through here, I'm going to go tempo, and I'm going to pick like this and I'm going to just hold this line. Or I'm going to throw a flashbang like this or whatever good flashbang lineups there are. I don't know flash lineups from here, but if you do, feel free to use them. Or you could have a plan, okay, in my games, whenever I go towards tempo, they actually maul me, so my plan will be to rotate through city, and through city, I'm going to just pick here. If it's smoked, I'm going to throw a Molotov like this, that's going to maul off the plant so that the enemies cannot plant or whatever. You know, just make a lineup for that so that you can throw smoke and things like this. So basically when you have a plan, you know what you're going to do and you know how to do it, and that's going to make you more consistent because you're doing the most effective thing possible that you could be doing. The fifth and last reason you're inconsistent is because you change your settings all the time. Now I want you to answer me a question. When is the last time you changed your sensitivity? If it was in less than a month, then that's probably not a good thing. If you're changing your sensitivity all the time, if you're changing your resolution all the time, if you're changing whatever, if you're changing anything about the settings all the time, the audio, the graphics, anything, if you're changing it, that's going to make you inconsistent because when you're playing with one sensitivity, let's say your sensitivity is whatever, 2 sensitivity on 400 dpi. If you have that sensitivity, and you practice with that sensitivity for 1 month, your brain is going to adapt to that and your body is going to adapt to that, and you know you need to move your mouse exactly, let's say 10 centimeters so that you do this. As an example, maybe it's less, maybe it's more, whatever it is, your brain knows that it has to move the mouse this amount of space on your mousepad to turn this way. And when you change the sensitivity on the next day, your brain is going to say, remember, like just reactionary, that it needs to turn this much on the mousepad so that it turns this much in game, but when you turn this much in the mousepad, then in game is going to be more if you increase your sensitivity. So your first reaction is going to throw your aim off a lot, and that's going to make you inconsistent, obviously, because your brain hasn't adapted to the new sensitivity. And if you change it all the time, then how is your brain going to adapt? It doesn't even have time to adapt to one, and you're already changing to another one. So there's no way to be consistent if you're changing your settings all the time. And if you're somehow playing good with that, I promise you that if you stop changing the settings all the time, you'll play even better. So that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like and you can subscribe to my channel to not miss out on any upcoming content. Thank you for watching.